Hi, boys and girls. Today's read aloud is called City Green. This is a good book to read this time of year because it's about planting and getting ready for summer weather and growing our own gardens. It's also about making our city a more beautiful place. You're going to find in this story that there is an empty lot. And what an empty lot is just an empty area, just a field, a piece of land where there is nothing, and they want to make it more beautiful. So let's see what the characters in our story do to take care of this empty lot. City Green. There used to be a building right here on this lot. It was 3 floors up and down, an empty building nailed up shut for as long as I could remember. My friend, Miss Rosa, told me Old Man Hammer used to live there, some other neighbors too. But when I asked him about that, he only hollered, "Scram!" Old Man Hammer, hard as nails. I think this is Old Man Hammer over here. Last year, 2 people from the city came by, dressed in suits and holding papers. They said, "This building is unsafe. It will have to be torn down." By winter, a crane with a wrecking ball was parked outside. Mama gathered everyone to watch from our front window. In 3 slow blows, that building was knocked into a heap of pieces. Then workers took the rubble away in a truck and filled the hole with dirt. If you look through the window, you can see the wrecking ball. And look at the people's faces. How are they feeling about it? They're worried, they're sad, they're scared. They don't want to see this happening in their city. Now this block looks like a big smile with 1 tooth missing. Old Man Hammer sits on his stoop and shakes his head. Look at that piece of junk land on a city block. Old Man Hammer says, "Once that building could have been saved, but nobody even tried. And every day when I pass this lot, it makes me sad to see it. Every single day." Then spring comes, and right on schedule, Miss Rosa starts cleaning her coffee cans. Miss Rosa and I keep coffee cans outside our windowsills. Every year we buy 2 packets of seeds at the hardware store, sometimes marigolds, sometimes zinnias, and one time we tried tomatoes. We go to the park, scoop some dirt, and fill up the cans halfway. So there's the empty lot. You can see Old Man Hammer sitting on his stoop. Stoop may be a new word. You can tell that a stoop is the front stairs. This time, Old Man Hammer stops us on the way to the park. "This good-for-nothing lot has plenty of dirt right here," he says. Then all at once, I look at Miss Rosa, and she's smiling back at me. "A lot of dirt," Miss Rosa says, "like 1 big coffee can," I say. That's when we decide to do something about this lot. Quick as a wink, I'm digging away, already thinking of gardens and flowers. But Old Man Hammer shakes his finger. "You can't dig more dirt than that. This lot is city property." So Miss Rosa and the little girl were on their way to fill their coffee cans to plant flowers and maybe tomatoes for their own apartments. But they think, maybe we can just plant in the empty lot. Miss Rosa and I go see Mr. Bennett. He used to work for the city. "I seem to remember a program," he says, "that lets people rent empty lots." That's how Miss Rosa and I form a group of people from our block. We pass around a petition that says, "We want to lease this lot." In less than a week, we have plenty of names. Now, a petition is a piece of paper where everyone agrees on something and they sign their names to the piece of paper. And this group of people agreed that they all wanted to chip in and rent the lot. Sign this with us, I ask Old Man Hammer. I'm not signing nothing, he says, and nothing's what's going to happen. But something did. The next week, a bunch of us take a bus to City Hall. We walk up the steps to the proper office and hand the woman our list. She checks her files and types some notes and makes some copies. That will be $1, please. We rent the lot from the city that day. It was just as simple as that. Saturday morning, I'm up with the sun and looking at this lot. My mama looks out too. Marcy, she says, and hugs me close. Today, I'm helping you and Rosa. After shopping, Mama empties her grocery bags and folds them flat to carry under her arm. Come on, Mrs. B, Mama tells her friend. We're going to clear this lot. Then what do you know? But my brother comes along. My brother's tall and strong. At first, he scratches his neck and shakes his head just like Old Man Hammer. But Mama smiles and says, none of that here. So all day long, he piles junk in those bags and carries them to the curb. So now everyone is chipping in. More and more people are helping. Now this time of day is early. Neighbors pass by and see what we're doing. Most say, we want to help too. They have a little time to spare. Then this one calls that one and that one calls another. Come on and help, I call to Old Man Hammer. I'm not helping nobody, he hollers. You're all wasting your time. Sour grapes, my mama'd say, and sour grapes is right. She's kind of describing how Old Man Hammer's acting, kind of like the taste of sour grapes. Just before supper, when we're good and hungry, my mama looks around this lot. Marcy, she says, you're making something happen here. Next day, the city drops off tools like rakes and brooms and a dumpster for trash. Now there's even more neighbors to help. Miss Rosa, my brother, and I say good morning to Mr. Old Man Hammer, but Old Man Hammer just waves like he's swatting a fly. Why is Old Man Hammer so mean and cranky these days? My brother asks. Maybe he's really sad, I tell him. Maybe he misses his building. That rotten old building, my brother shrugs. He should be happy the city tore down that mess. Give him time, Miss Rosa says. Good things take time. Mr. Bennett brings wood, old slats he'd saved, and nails in a cup. I knew all along I saved them for something, he says. This wood's good wood. Then Mr. Rocco from 2 houses down comes carrying 2 cans of paint. I'll never use these, he says. The color's too bright. But here, this lot could use some brightening up. So people are donating what they have to help improve the lot. Well, anyone can tell with all the excitement that something is going on and everyone has an idea about what to plant. Strawberries, carrots, lettuce, and more. Tulips and daisies, petunias, and more. Sonny turns the dirt over with a snow shovel. Even Leslie's baby tries to dig with a spoon. For lunch, Miss Rosa brings milk and jelly and bread and spreads a beach towel where the junk is cleared. By the end of the day, a fence is built and painted as bright as the sun. Later, Mama kisses my cheek and closes my bedroom door. By the streetlights, I see Old Man Hammer come down his steps to open the gate and walk to the back of this lot. He bends down quick, sprinkling something from his pocket and covering it over with dirt. In the morning, I tell my brother, "Oh, Marcy," he says, "you're dreaming. You're wishing too hard." But I know what I saw, and I tell my mama, "Old Man Hammer's planted some seeds." Do you think Old Man Hammer's changing his mind? Is he starting to be a little nicer? Let's find out. Right after breakfast, I walk to the back of this lot, and there it is, a tiny raised bed of soil. It is neat and tidy, just like the rows we planted. Now I know for sure Old Man Hammer planted something. So I pat the soil for good luck, and I make a little fence to keep the seeds safe. If you look closely at the picture, there she is, checking what Old Man Hammer planted. And there's Old Man Hammer, and there's a picture of Old Man Hammer and his wife. And there is an empty seed packet there. It looks like sunflower seeds. I'm looking even closer at the picture. You should be able to see that the picture of Old Man Hammer and his wife, they're standing by sunflowers, tall sunflowers. Those are some clues about what's going to be happening next in the story. Every day I go for a look inside our garden lot. Other neighbors stop in too. One day, Mrs. Wells comes by. "This is right where my grandmother's bedroom used to be," she says. "That's why I planted my flowers there." I feel sad when I hear that. With all the digging and planting and weeding and watering, I'd forgotten about the building that had been on this lot. Old Man Hammer had lived there too. I go to the back where he planted his seeds. I wonder if this was the place where his room used to be. I look down. Beside my feet, some tiny stems are sprouting. Old Man Hammer's seeds have grown. I run to his stoop. "Come with me," I beg, tugging at his hand. "You'll want to see." I walk him past the hollyhocks, the daisies, the peppers, the rows of lettuce. I show him the strawberries that I planted. When Old Man Hammer sees his little garden bed, his sour grapes turn sweet. "Marcy, child," he shakes his head, "this lot was good for nothing. Now it's nothing but good," he says. So did his behavior change from the beginning of the story? He doesn't sound grumpy now. He sounds happy about the lot. Soon summertime comes, and this lot really grows. It fills with vegetables, herbs, and flowers. And way in the back, taller than anything else, is a beautiful patch of yellow sunflowers. Old Man Hammer comes every day. He sits in the sun, eats his lunch, and sometimes comes back with supper. Nobody knows how the sunflowers came. Not Leslie, my brother, or Miss Rosa. Not Mr. Bennett or Sonny or anyone else, but Old Man Hammer just sits there smiling at me. We know whose flowers they are. Do you know whose flowers? Old Man Hammer was missing his life when he lived in that apartment building that got torn down. And his life was spent with his wife, who was no longer living. And he's remembering his time with her and how much they loved the sunflowers together. So he learned that change is very hard, but in the end, he benefited from the change because he could sit and have picnics and remember his beautiful life. I hope you enjoyed the story as much as I did. Maybe it will inspire you. Is there some place you could make more beautiful? Are there places in your yard where you could plant some flowers or plant some vegetables? Maybe you would plant something in memory of someone you really love.